Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This video is for all of you beginners out there. Whether you're just starting to get into makeup or you're just struggling to do your makeup, this video is for you. Maybe you've been watching other YouTube tutorials or even my tutorials and you just found them to be a little too complicated or not something that you yourself would do. Maybe you are not going to be wearing false eyelashes all the time or winged liner or doing contour. You just want someone to tell you how to do a basic daytime look and a basic nighttime look. Maybe even taking that daytime look and transitioning it to a nighttime look, which is what I decided to do for this video. So I haven't decided if I'm gonna be splitting into two parts yet. I do have to do the editing because I don't really want it to be like a half an hour video like in one sitting because it'll take forever to even just upload. So I might be splitting it into two parts, but regardless, what I've done is I did a warm daytime look, a pretty easy look in my opinion, something that really anybody could do, minimal brushes used. You can change out things if you want, like I used a little black eyeliner, but you could use brown eyeliner, no eyeliner. There are no false lashes in the daytime look. There is really no contour in the daytime look. It's pretty basic and I wanted to keep it a look that you could do in 10 minutes or less. Now, for the nighttime look, which is actually what I have on now, I do show you how to transition that first look I teach into this look right here using just maybe 3 or 4 other products to make that transition. So if you're interested in seeing a makeup geared towards beginners, daytime and nighttime, then please keep on watching. So I have a clean, moisturized face, and now I'm going to be going in with my primers, my face and my eyeshadow primer. You might be able to actually skip this step. If you've tried primers in the past and you felt like they didn't really make a difference in your makeup application, then of course, go ahead and skip this. But for me, with oily skin and very oily lids, even if I can get away without using a primer on my face, I always have to use an eyeshadow primer on my eyes. So I'm using the NYX Angel Veil for my face and the Wet n Wild eyeshadow primer for my eyes. So I'm applying this mostly to my T-zone. And then I take the tiniest amount on my finger and just apply it to my lids. All the way up from lash line to brow bone. So next I'm taking the Maybelline Better Skin Liquid Foundation, and this is the shade Warm Nude, and I'm using a Beauty Blender type sponge. This is one that you can just get at the drugstore. I normally do use an actual beauty blender, the name brand beauty blender, but these work just as well. So I pump some onto the back of my hand, and then I go in and I stipple it onto my face. And I always like to carry it down onto my neck as well. So notice the motion that I'm doing. I'm bouncing it. I'm not going down like this. I'm not going up. I'm not using any type of stroking motion. It's all like a blotting or stippling motion. Always make sure you get up in the hairline as well, especially if you're one of those people that uses a foundation a shade or two darker and just blends down. Make sure you're not leaving out this line, this telltale line around the hair, because it's so obvious. So I don't know what happened to my camera. It just cut out of nowhere, and I had already gotten to the point where I was putting on the concealer, but what I'm using is the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Dark Circle Eraser, and I'm using the shade Fair. You always want to use a shade that is 1 to 2 levels lighter than your foundation shade, basically depending on how much of a brightening effect you want. I like a lot of lightness under the eye, so that's why I am using the fair and not the light. And so what I was demonstrating before my camera cut out is that I was drawing a line from the sides of my nose down, making sure to get into this area right here by the nose, and then swiping underneath my eyes and in a triangle shape. So basically, you're just kind of going down and then making a check and then filling in that area. So it should look something like this. Taking your Beauty Blender again And then what I do to even out the skin on my lid, instead of taking that extra step of using like a paint pot or something else to conceal the discoloration on the lid, I just take this, whatever on my beauty blender, and cover my lid with it. Because I've already primed it. So this is just a way to give myself a smooth, clean canvas. Okay, now that our foundation and concealer is on, I'm going to take some powder. And I am using the CoverGirl Professional Loose Powder Transparent Fair 105. I put a little bit in the lid, tap off my excess, and then I set my T-zone, and then also the lids. You can actually go over the whole face if you'd like, and underneath the eyes as well. Okay, time for eyebrows. As you can see, I have none. They are very, very light, which makes it very, very difficult to fill in without a lot of effort. I usually take a pencil and a powder, but for the purposes of this video, I'm gonna show you how I fill them in like when I'm in a hurry, or even if I'm going to the gym, because I do still like to have a little bit of a brow just when I go to the gym. I like to have some brows, a little bit of mascara on, and just so I can look human, in my opinion. So for a natural looking brow, I'm going to be using a powder, and I'm using the Milani Brow Fix Kit. This is the medium. I probably need to get the light because I just lightened my hair, but this is what mine looks like. It's kind of messed up at the moment. It has a highlight shade that I never use, but it does give you two nice taupey brown shades. And using an angled brush, this one is from Anastasia Beverly Hills, I am just gently, well, first I'm intensifying this arch a little bit because I really don't have one. I'm missing some hairs there, so I'm going in and just softly filling in my brow. Always use just small strokes. Never put a lot of pressure on the brush either, because if you put a lot of pressure on the brush, you're gonna get a lot of color. And that's not really what you want. You want soft brush strokes so it looks like natural hairs. So for my eyes, I am using this Milani Shadow Kit in Earthy Elements. The reason why I'm using so much Milani is that I feel like it is a really good drugstore brand. You can either find it at CVS or I think some Targets have it. I don't think Ulta carries it, but you can also get it online. So beginning with this kind of taupey light brown shade, and you don't have to use these exact colors. The point of this video is to just show you a nice basic eye look and the tones that you could use to achieve it. So I'm using a MAC 217 and I'm just going in with that color I just showed you, and I am proceeding to place that right in my crease. Blending out, you can see these are quite pigmented, so you just want to keep blending and blending and blending. And I'm not speeding this up, my hand is actually going that fast. I make little circles, I raise my brows, and I just really get into that crease. And I just go over it several times. And I'm not holding it out here. I'm not holding the brush out here because that's going to give you more of like a soft watercolor effect. I want an intense crease, so I'm holding it a little bit farther down and blending. As you can see, this brow is a little red for me. My hair color just changed, so yeah, I probably would need the light kit. So using this color right here in the top corner, I am just placing that right on my lid. It's like a shimmery, has a little bit of yellow in it in this light, kind of looks like. Placing that right on the lid. Going in with a smaller crease brush into that kind of orangey tone. And putting that right into the crease. And again, just moving it back and forth in a windshield wiper motion. Now using an even smaller crease brush or detail brush, I'm going into the darkest kind of plummy brown shade, has a little bit of a purpley tone to it. And I'm just putting that kind of right along the lash line, the outer portion of the lash line. And then just blending it up into the crease, very, very softly. And don't worry if you get fallout here, you can always get rid of it with a makeup wipe and just touch up a little bit with your concealer. You just want to go over this a couple times until you build the intensity that you like. Using a makeup wipe, I am just cleaning up that edge. Next, I will be using this pencil from L'Oreal. It is the Smoldering Eye Pencil, and I'm going to be lining my top lids. You don't have to use black. You can also use brown if you're more comfortable. So I'm just lining the upper lash line, and then I'm also going to tight line. Then I'm also taking the pencil and just lining the lower rims, just the outer portion. Next, I'm taking one of my favorite brushes ever. It is the Stila number 28 double-sided brush. I mostly just use this little side. Going back into that same plummy brown that I used in my outer corner, I am putting that also on the lower lash line, smudging it out. So what you want to do next is you want to go in with that first brush you used, like the MAC 217, and do that swirling motion one more time. Just blending everything together. If you have hooded lids, you definitely want to open your eyes and look into the mirror and make sure that that the shadow is you're blending high enough that you can actually see a little bit of it when your eyes are open. If it's too low, if it's right in the crease only, then you won't be able to see any of the shadow when your eyes are open. Now, some people aren't going to do this step because they just don't like any shimmer on the brow bone. So you could take a matte white, a matte cream. I'm going in with a slightly shimmering color. These aren't like super intense shimmers or anything, but I'm going to take it on another flat shader brush and I'm going to go right underneath my brow. And this step is also going to help to clean up, like if you were uneven in your blending, like if you weren't getting like a perfect dome shape, this will kind of help to clean up those edges. You can also bring it around outside here to kind of clean up. As long as you don't have a ton of eye wrinkles. If you have a lot of wrinkles around the eye, do this, but with a matte shade. I also like to take a pencil brush and put a little bit of that shimmer in my tear duct. Next step is going to be to curl your lashes and to apply some mascara. I'm going to be using the Lash Blast Volume. So now that my eyes are completed, it's time to finish off the face. Using the Milani Berry Amore blush, I'm going to apply that to my cheeks. For my face shape, which is kind of oval, I just kind of suck in my cheeks a little and go right on the cheekbone. You can also smile, like give like a little half smile, and then apply the blush like that. That works for most face shapes. If you do, not a full smile where you're gonna pop it right on the apple, but if you kind of give like a little, like a half smile, I feel so stupid doing that, but. And on my lips for this daytime look, wow, I'm using a lot of Milani today. It might as well be like a one brand tutorial. I'm gonna be using the Color Statement lip liner in Nude and then the matte lipstick in Matte Innocence. Now, if you want to leave out a step and not even have to apply lipstick, this is a great color that you can put all over your lips. So this is the daytime matte warm eye look. It should only take you about 10 minutes to achieve once you kind of get down where the color placement should go. The brushes that I use mainly are a series of blending brushes of different sizes. Here I have the MAC 217, then this is a Samey Beauty Brush 2.5, and this one is from Essence of Beauty. You can get it at Walgreens or I think Ulta. So I have like a large, a medium, and a small. I've always said in all my videos that the brushes you use depend on your eye shape. I have small hooded eyes. If you have larger eyes, a lot of lid space, you want to use a big fluffy brush like this and then maybe go to a medium like this, and then maybe your small would be this one instead of this one being my medium. So that's how you have to judge. If your eyes are large, a lot of lid space, you can go bigger. If your eyes are smaller, like mine, you don't have a lot of lid space, you want to go smaller. I also always recommend having a couple shader brushes that look like this, and then also a couple pencil brushes like this. And if you do have small eyes, again, like myself, or you like to do precision work underneath the eyes, get yourself a brush that looks similar to this. Very, very small. This one is a Stila Brush 28. I believe you can only get this online. So let's learn how to take this to a nighttime look.